Yo, One Life family. How's everybody doing? I want to welcome everybody back to the channel. I know it's been a little minute, man, but y'all know we've been doing work. We've been doing research. We really been focused on getting justice for families. You feel me? And the family that we're talking about today is the same situation, man. The Tyra Crosby situation, okay? And the reason why I'm bringing you guys this update is because this is a situation and a case that we've been working on very, very strong for like the last 2 weeks, okay? And a lot of people have questions. A lot of things are up in the air. A lot of people just don't know certain information. And that's due to one of the things is when I first talked to Miss Hoskins and we came together and we decided to work on this situation, such as I did with another case. One of the things I said was, families are getting away from talking to bloggers and YouTubers and things of that nature. You feel me? Because it just be pointless. You know what I'm saying? It'd be more arguing and bickering than more so about the justice. And so in this situation with Tyra Crosby, what we did was, I got with my investigator. She had her investigations done. We did our research. And so now I can bring y'all an update on it. And this is like, real information that's going on, real information that's being handed over, and things of that nature. So hopping right on into it. For people who aren't very familiar with the Tyra Crosby case, Tyra Crosby is the 25-year-old Charlotte woman who was lured back to the house by Albert Alexander and was later found at the home by Stephanie Alexander, who says that she shot Tyra because of Tyra being an intruder in her home. Okay. She was arrested and charged with voluntary manslaughter and was released on I believe a $250,000 bond. It was either $200,000 or $250,000 bond. Okay. Tyra's mom, Miss Tanya Hoskins, says, no, my daughter was murdered and she wants to see the appropriate charges put on these people. Okay. Now, the thing about this case is you have some people that's looking at it, oh, well, she was messing with a married man or this, that, and the third. And you have some other people that's just like, the lady is in the wrong. So I'm here to kind of clear up the information that is up in the air. OK, now, the thing with this situation is it started with the voicemail that was left to Miss Hoskins. OK, so when this situation transpired, OK, you have Stephanie Alexander who was attacking. And I'm telling y'all what happened from what I know from the beginning to the end. So just keep up with me so that we can get this justice for this family. OK, you have Stephanie Alexander who was brutally attacking Tyra Crosby. OK, Tyra Crosby says, okay, so Tyra at some point calls her mother. Her mother doesn't pick up. So the voicemail is recording. However, I'm under the impression that Stephanie and Albert must didn't know that this recording was going on. Okay. So she's beating on Tyra in the recording, and Tyra is like, stop, y'all gonna kill me, things of that nature. Okay. Then you hear the gunshot. Okay. By all of this being recorded and her mom able to have this audio, it led to a strong point of the investigation. You have audio of the last moments that hear your daughter being physically attacked. Okay. She's physically attacked at 5 something in the morning. She's unalive by like 5:21. Okay. Now, people are saying or looking at it like, well, why was she at this house? First of all, she was invited to the house by Albert Alexander. OK, they was hanging out at the sweepstake. OK, so, the sweepstakes in this city is like a gambling house. So if you know anything about gambling houses, they at the gambling house, they hanging out, they whatever. OK, now, from my understanding and my research and the things that I know, I believe Tyra could have possibly won a large amount of money this night, okay? Which is why which is one of the reasons why Albert Alexander was trying to, lured her back to the house. Okay. So now you got this money involved that was won at this sweepstakes and things of that nature. All this is allegedly, but hey, this was going on allegedly. But so allegedly this money was won, and Tyra was invited back to the house, okay, with Albert Alexander, okay? So Albert Alexander was a person that she had already known, okay? I know she had been over to the residence once before, okay? So I know once before she had not been to the residence, so it was not like this was a stranger, a person she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I guess she was comfortable enough to go with him back to the house, especially after she had done been there once before. Okay, and I know what people are thinking, but I'm gonna get to that part. So now you have this young lady, Tyra Crosby, invited back to this home where now Stephanie Alexander miraculously or whatever shows up at 5-something in the morning. This is another weird situation. How is it that your wife is showing up at 5-something in the morning? Where was she at? Okay. Which goes back to keep in mind this large amount of money that could have possibly been won. Okay. Now you have a situation where they are at their house and they jumping on. Okay. Now I want to explain this part. The lady, and this is the bomb in the situation. Y'all know I drop them bombs now, especially y'all know how I come with it. Now the situation with this is the lady Stephanie Alexander allegedly doesn't even live at this address that this thing transpired at, okay? She don't even live at this address, okay? Now, by her not living at this address completely changes all of this evidence and all of this information that I'm sharing with you guys, which is credible information, changes this whole case, this whole situation, this whole scenario, okay? It's looking more like a robbery that went wrong, okay? It went wrong on so many levels, even up to the point where you took this young lady's life. I would not be surprised if this is something that they've done before. See, they was already dealing with certain marital issues, okay? This lady was not sneaking around with Stephanie Alexander husband and all that stuff. Them people had their own stuff going on. This lady did not live at this residence allegedly, okay? And was there at 5-something in the morning after this young lady done won this amount of money and Albert done told you to meet them at this house, okay? So I'm sharing the information with you guys so that people can share, and get the word out there so that Tyra Crosby can get justice. This is not a situation where she was sneaking around being no mistress. She wasn't woo-de-woo, you feel me? This is a man that she knew prior to. He invited her back to the house, and she probably, was comfortable because she had been there before. A lot of people even asked the question, why wouldn't this lady, Stephanie Alexander, have pictures of herself and things of that nature throughout her home? Okay, I just told y'all it's alleged that this lady don't even live in this home. Okay, even furthermore, when you go on Albert Alexander social media pages, he don't have no pictures with this lady as his wife. Okay. So I want people to just understand what is going on, the information that we have come across, the information that is credible with the Tyra Crosby situation. This young lady did not deserve to lose her life. And I'm telling y'all, I believe it's more robbery based than anything. Because mind you, they was hanging out at the sweepstakes. It's a gambling spot. You feel me? So and I'm just telling y'all through investigations, through again, reliable, credible resources, what possibly transpired that night. Okay. And so again, this situation is more of a premeditated situation, especially when this man again, the information that I've come across, it seems as if they've done this more than once. And I'm talking about this Stephanie and Albert Alexander. The only thing is, this time, this young lady left a voice message, okay? And now it led to an investigation. See, although they charged her with the manslaughter, that can always be up. And that is the justice that Miss Tanya Hoskins is looking for, is for these charges to be up and filed correctly. They murdered this young lady. They did it in cold blood. They called the police. She lied to the police. Okay? And I'm going to play the 911 call for y'all so that y'all can hear it for yourself. Okay? But she lied to the police, and she said all of these things to cover her trail. And I guess he somewhat vouched for him, which this man just did, I believe, 5 years in prison. He was sentenced to 10. I believe he did 5. Okay? And so he got a lot of things that's already going on. And I'm only, again, sharing this information so that people can get a better understanding. And this is credible, reliable information. Okay? And I don't know if y'all missed what I said, but I just kind of broke down a few of the things that, can kind of help people to get a better understanding as to why Tyra Crosby deserves justice. Miss Tanya Hoskins and her family deserves the justice for her daughter, because this was not an intrusion. Because if she was an intruder, then you have to, for you to label a person as an intruder, because y'all know I know the law. Now, for her to label this lady as an intruder, you got to show signs of forced entry. How did this lady get into this home to be an intruder? Furthermore, her place of residency, Stephanie Alexander, place of residency, is a very important factor in this investigation and in this case. It's justice for Tyra Crosby, and I really want you guys to understand, like, and share this, because this is something that happened right here in America, and it's things that happen often, and people can do whatever it is they want to do, but you just have to be very careful and very selective. It's the people you think you can trust be the ones you definitely cannot trust, but One Life family, I want to just bring awareness to this situation for Miss Tyra Crosby. Miss Tyra Crosby, we still working on the investigation. We're still working for justice on her family, which is going really, really well. You know what I mean? And I think we see that. We see that when you keep certain things and certain people out your mix, it's so much easier to get justice and get answers and get things accomplished, And I've seen that with working with Miss Tanya Hoskins and Tyra Crosby situation, and much respect to the family and justice for Tyra Crosby.
How old is she? I have no idea. I don't even know the woman. She's inside my house in the hallway on the floor. Is she flat on her back? No, she's on her stomach. I can try to move her on her back. My husband told me don't touch her. Oh, God. What did I do?
Tyra Crosby's family told WCCB News she was invited to the home by Alexander's husband. In fact, according to them, they have an 8-minute recording of Crosby's final moments. They believe Crosby was beaten and shot. The family spoke to us after hearing the 911 call.
I'm angry. I'm upset that for her to go from one emotion to the next. You get on the 911 call, and I have a call recorded on my phone where you're beating my child, and then you call 911 and you're emotionally crying and saying your life is over.
I feel like it's senseless. I feel like she didn't have a chance.
I came home and I had a woman in my house, and I pulled out my gun and I shot, and she's not moving.
Criminal defense attorney Mark Jatan is not an attorney on this case. We asked him to give us his expert opinion about the voluntary manslaughter charge against Alexander after listening to the 911 recording.
She's shaken beyond belief. You can hear that, you hear the things she's saying. It certainly seems to be the charge that you would assume is correct. Now, the tricky part is just because it's a heat of passion situation doesn't always mean manslaughter is the correct charge. Time is one of the main factors that we deal with as between manslaughter and murder, because time can equal premeditation.